enemy, the polar bear.
There's still hope now. The little things still count. But in the future, our chance will be lost. Don't let us lose our chance.
Trash.
Wait,
Trash. What? I'm cleaning out my files.
don't trash all those papers. That's wasteful.
What do you want me to do with them? I mean, I guess I could make a hat or a bow tie or a pterodactyl.
No, silly. You can recycle them. We should recycle all materials we can to help conserve.
A few measly pieces of paper is not going to make a difference.
Well, you're right. Few pieces of paper won't make any difference. But if you recycle all your papers, and so does everyone else, that can make a huge difference. And we can help save the world.
Well, I guess you're right. It won't hurt, right? Okay.
Wait! Don't recycle that! It's wasteful!
What are you talking about? I thought throwing it away was wasteful and recycling's doing the right thing.
Recycling is important, but you can do something even better than recycling with those sheets of paper. All these papers have nothing on the back, so you should put them in the reusing box.
The reusing box? What's that?
I'm glad you asked. This is a reusing box. It's where you put paper if you're finished with it, but it only has one side printed on it and can still be used by you or other people.
Well, how does it work?
The difference makers are now collecting not only papers for recycling, but also for reusing. All those papers can be used again before you finally recycle them. This will reduce the amount of paper we use here at GPMS by over 50%. That will save money as well as resources, and we can save the world.
Say, I guess you're right. By golly, I should start doing this at home. Maybe we all should.
You're right. I've already told my parents about reusing, and we've saved so much paper only over the past month.
We should start spreading the word about this.
Let's go tell everyone!
Hi, do you want a reusing box?
Hi, yes, thank you. I'm always interested in saving trees.
Would you like a reusing box?
Why?
To save trees in the world.
Trees in the world? I'll take it.
Oh, you're so in my way.
Oh my god, what are you?
You're actually filming?
Long ago, the earth was at peace. Habitat destruction. Litter. Global warming. But everything changed when the humans invaded the earth. They sent 3 threats to hurt the earth. But once they started working together, that's when we're in trouble.
What the heck is this? Trusty briefcase.
need to turn off your light because it's a huge waste of energy.
Waste of energy? It's a waste of energy for me to be wasting my energy turning off light switches all the time. I refuse to do so.
Oh, let's see about that.
I can't believe you hurt a student. Oh no, attacking a student? What have I done?
Now!
Unhand me! Where am I? Who are you?
Your worst nightmare.
That's funny. This doesn't feel like 7th grade computer science.
It isn't. It's your nightmare.
Who are you?
Okay, we got this. Come on, get it over. Get it over. Get it over. Don't move too much. Don't move too much. Alright. Is that good? And... accident.
In 2010, Duke University did a study that said in the past 18 years, 85,000 sea turtles have been killed by poachers. That was in 2010. Imagine the numbers of killings there are now in 2016. Recently, there was a discovery that 35,000 sea turtles were killed off the coast of Baja California. What I've also found out is in San Valentin, Mexico, hundreds of sea turtle bodies were found on the beach, badly destroyed and carved into. Turtle shells and skins are used for clothing and glasses, frames, jewelry, tourist toys, and instruments. Turtles are considered a delicacy in places like China, and turtles have been used for a lot of different types of decor and medicine. Historically, shrimp trawls and longline fishing have been a huge problem for sea turtles, and the plastic that people throw in the sea catches on fins and heads, causing injuries. The plastic also spreads chemicals and poisons marine life around it. In Mexico's black markets, turtles are considered very high-quality items for their skins and eggs. Turtle numbers are decreasing very quickly, and there are high prices for robbing sea turtle nests across the beach. In conclusion, sea turtles will go extinct very soon from all the poaching, killing, and injuring. People all over the world are making their efforts to support the sea turtle cause. There's no reason why we can't. Ways to save the turtles is to try and reduce the amount of trash you use and clean the trash on the beach. When you're on the beach, be aware of nesting places and stay away from nesting and hatching sea turtles. If you own a boat, avoid anchoring in coral or seagrass populated areas, and when you're on the beach, try and walk on the boardwalk instead of any sand dunes. Let's save the sea turtles.
Imagine when you were young and you thought the ocean was something that would never go away. Actually, it isn't true. There's a lot of problems with the ocean, including overfishing, dying coral reefs, and sea turtle poaching, just to name a few. One problem that made me sad was sea turtle poaching. Sea turtle poaching is a devastating act that is killing many endangered species of sea turtles. They are killed for a lot of things, including their shells, eggs, and meat. About 42,000 sea turtles are killed each year, not counting the legal ones. The sad thing is the way they kill the sea turtles. It can take up to 2 hours for the turtle to die. In a lot of places, they aren't poaching but caught mistakenly in nets or traps for other animals. 200,000 sea turtles will die in nets each year. Sea turtles' shells and skin is sold to make jewelry, guitar picks, sunglasses, and wall hangings, and that's just naming a few. They are also killed for medicine and religious things. Most of that medicine doesn't really do anything. There are a lot of things you can do to help. If you don't throw your trash in the ocean, sea turtles won't choke on the trash and make even more deaths.
Another thing you can do is write a letter to your senator and ask him or her to enforce the laws against sea turtle poaching, so the poachers will get caught more often. Also, if a lot of people don't eat turtle meat, the amount of sea turtles dying will be less, because there will be less demand for their surplus. You can also help by adopting a sea turtle so companies can put money and resources to help stop sea turtle poaching. Adopt a sea turtle today.
When people think of sharks, they think of the movie Jaws. Bloodthirsty, man-eating, ruthless killing machines. Why should people care if sharks die out? In reality, you are more likely to die by falling in a vending machine than from a shark attack. The truth is, sharks play an important role in the ecosystem. They affect the food supply of about 1/3 of our world. Without them, we are interfering with our primary food and air sources. Shark finning is a cruel and foolish practice. Finners cut off the shark's fins and then throw the helpless shark back into the ocean. When you remove a shark's fin, they cannot swim. They become powerless since they can't hunt or avoid predators. Usually, they use the fins for a dish called shark fin soup. Shark fin soup started in China and became a worldwide delicacy. Believe it or not, the vast majority of people who consume it are unaware of the mercury-related health risks caused by its consumption. Mercury can be damaging to the developing brain. About 100 million sharks are killed by shark finners every year. That's about 190 per minute. The shark population has decreased 60 to 90% in the last 15 years due to the shark fin trade with no end in sight. But the request for shark fin soup has gone up recently because of the rising prosperity in Asia. Now more and more people are able to afford this delicacy. Unfortunately, the shark fin trade is a multi-billion-dollar industry, which makes it a challenging battle to fight. 1 pound of dried shark fin can sell for about $300 or more. Here are some things you can do to help. First, you can join an organization that cares about the future of sharks. Also, you can gather a group of people who care about finning, like at your school, community center, or neighborhood. Most importantly, don't buy shark products. It may not seem like it will do much of a difference, but every little thing counts, and it will encourage your friends to do the same.
You may not have ever heard of shark finning before, but it is a very serious issue. Sharks are dying in the ocean and just to make soup for us. Shark finning is a very wasteful use of sharks. Fishermen catch the shark, put it on board, defin it, and throw the rest overboard, letting it drown. The fins are then used to make shark fin soup, a delicacy in some parts of Asia. I picked shark finning because sharks don't deserve to be finned and then just trashed away like they are pieces of garbage. Sharks are living beings and should be treated like we treat ourselves. Up to 70 million sharks are killed every year. There are 145 countries that are involved with shark finning and trading. Some shark species have already been reduced by 95%. Shark finning is done on the boat so that fishermen don't have to carry the whole shark back. Many people think sharks are harmful and only pay attention to finding food, but that is not true. Sharks are perfectly harmless creatures unless we harm them. More people die from snake bites every year than they do from shark attacks. Shark finning started when an emperor made the soup for a large banquet to show that he was powerful. Shark fins are the main ingredient of the soup. However, most customers who buy it don't know how much harm it causes sharks. Sharks may not be mammals, but they still have a place in this world. They aren't the only thing in this world to eat, and shark fin soup is one out of millions of foods that we can eat. I hope that this has helped you realize how much of a problem this is, and I hope we will eventually find a way to stop it.
Offshore drilling, a contributor to the horrors of global warming, a threat to the plant and animal species that live in our oceans today. Offshore drilling is a contributor to the contamination of our oceans and beaches, a business that often has no plan B, no regard for animal and plant life, and no consideration for the scientific fact that exposes what exactly happens under the blind eyes of those who support what these artificial islands are doing in our oceans today. Offshore drilling is a mechanical process where a wellbore, a hole made by the drill, is drilled below the seabed. These artificial islands, these disaster-provoking machines that plague our oceans today, have caused some of the worst environmental disasters ever. Just in the first 5 months of 2009, 39 offshore rigs exploded, releasing thousands of gallons of oil into the ocean, killing 21 people, thousands of animals, and so many of the fragile ecosystems that give oceans life. Since 2009, 200,000 gallons of oil have blackened our vivid blue oceans. The BP oil spill was the worst environmental disaster in U.S. history, and their backup plan was tested many times, and BP decided that the 50% success rate that they were averaging was acceptable. Hopefully, whoever is watching this video does believe in global warming, which would allow me to tell them that ever since the offshore drilling industry has gained traction with the public and expanded, the high tides have become rapidly higher, the world has become alarmingly warmer, and the idea that we will be self-sustainable in the future has crumbled. Studies show that if we drilled in every national park, forest, and refuge, we could not produce the amount of oil needed to match our growing demand. That does give more of a reason to drill offshore, but hopefully this piece has made you wonder, why drill at all?
Have you ever thought of starfish as more than art or a cute stuffed animal, but as a keystone species? A keystone species is a species that keeps things in balance. For example, starfish eat mussels and keep their numbers in check. Without starfish to control and eat mussels, they can take over an area and greatly reduce the algae and sea anemones there, so starfish are very important to ecosystems. So the fact that starfish are melting is disturbing environments. For a year and a half, starfish have been melting. Science recently discovered that they have been melting because of a paravirus. When a starfish gets sick, its arms pretzel up and white lesions form on its skin. Next, the starfish, that usually has water absorbed to keep its shape, starts to deflate. Then its limbs begin falling off. Once this starts, it can only take a few days for the starfish to die.
They are calling the disease the star wasting disease. Scientists don't know what is causing this disease. Marine biologists only have a few ideas. Now a study has narrowed down what might be the cause of the starfish melting. To find the virus, an international team of researchers was hired to research this. They looked at tissue from sick and healthy starfish and it was analyzed. They did DNA tests of all the viruses and compared them to all the other viruses. Scientists don't know yet what caused the virus to transform into the cause of what's considered the largest ocean disease ever recorded. Scientists will also be watching to see what happens to the next baby starfish that have been born in areas along the Pacific coast. Hopefully they will survive. Starfish are a very important species, and I think that we should help these keystone species before it's too late.
Pollution in the Chesapeake is at a hazardous extreme. Surface runoff and erosion threaten over 3,600 different animals and 2,200 plants. But the problem starts here. Maryland's treasure, the Chesapeake Bay, is still suffering from a major nitrogen and chemical pollution problem. Urban and suburban runoff are the only continuously growing pollution problems. Nitrogen and chemical pollution occur when products like fertilizers and industrial smog enter the bay without being filtered. Industrial smog contains sulfur, which leads to the acidification of rain and water. Our pollution starts in our communities. Our roads, buildings, and homes act as a gray funnel for water, wind, and chemicals. Gray funnels let water and chemicals rush straight down into storm drains, which feed into the bay. This is because there are no plants or fields to absorb water and slow the rush downhill to storm drains. However, green filters absorb water and cycles it back into the ground to help plants grow. Along with the water, important nutrients are recycled that would otherwise be lost. Although many organizations have been making great efforts, the Chesapeake Bay loses about 100 acres of forest to development each day. A true green filter can't be a reality without the slowing of this process and the replacement of lost ecosystems. Nitrogen pollution reduction unfortunately costs over $200 per pound, and the Chesapeake Bay holds about 18 trillion gallons of water, not to mention the thousands of streams, creeks, and rivers that thread through the bay. As an overall goal, advocates want to plant at least 14,000 acres of forest a year from now to 2025. This change entirely starts in our community. Making rain gardens and planting trees stops runoff at the source and is a beautiful way to brighten up barren land. The Chesapeake Bay is a treasure worth saving. This involves every business, organization, and individual to pitch in. The bay supports thousands of lives, and every one is worth saving. Stop pollution at its source.
My name is Kirsten Jackson. I am a chemistry teacher and I have a degree in both chemistry, teaching, and environmental science.
I'm Mrs. Zabarski. I am a biology teacher here at Seneca Valley High School. I also have a bachelor's in biology and I also have a master's in secondary education.
My name is Nova Cobble, and I'm a science teacher at Seneca Valley High School. My background is bachelor's in biology from the University of Maryland, and my master's in education from Johns Hopkins.
My name is Elaine Shute. I am a science teacher at Seneca Valley High School. I teach environmental science. As humans start to sprawl out and cover our land with impervious surfaces, the runoff that goes from those roads ends up into our streams and it decreases the quality of our water.
Well, urbanization is going to affect water quality because as you increase urbanization, you're going to increase runoff. And as you increase runoff, the quality of the streams are going to decrease because you're going to have a lot more sediment coming into the streams and you're going to have a reduced quality because as you increase the amount of sediment, you're messing up with the ecosystem of the stream that is already existing.
Well, the more people you have, the more electronic devices and all other electric things they have. And you're going to be having them using the electricity which is made by burning fossil fuels in most cases. Urban areas have high amounts of carbon emissions. Their carbon footprint is huge because you have more people. Each person has their own carbon footprint, and unless everybody is very mindful of that carbon footprint.
I think in general urbanization means that there's less land for growing crops and growing food. I've seen recently in Maryland tons of farms be sold for essentially land to create new development, housing developments, etc. And so that takes away the overall ability of the area to produce food to sustain people. So we have to bring in food sources from other countries and other areas. Because of that, traveling and shipping of food, that increases the carbon emission, etc.
All these emissions, not only the carbon dioxide, but the nitrous oxides, the sulfur oxides that are emitted, end up in our air. They can cause the greenhouse effect, which keeps the temperatures warmer, also keeps smog and other type of air pollutants in the air. And that can cause health problems such as, asthma, lung, respiratory type problems. I don't think unless we decrease our populations, we're going to not have urbanization. What we need to look is how to have urbanization where it is not affecting the atmosphere. We can do green roofs. We can do, instead of doing blacktops for parking lots, we can do gravel. We can do rain barrels to collect water catchment. Which Maryland does a very good job of having, like retention basins, so that the water runoff from the roadways is not ending up in our streams as much. It goes through a sand trapment systems in retention ponds first, and that hopefully filters out a lot of the oils and dirt that could be on our roadways before it does hit our water.
Fact that everything that you do has consequence, then you should also become more stewards of the fact that this planet isn't ours to use, it is ours to abuse, it is ours to live within harmony.
It takes a village. Everybody has to do their part. Otherwise, well, it's your future, my future, our kids' future. My kids are here, yours aren't here yet, but they will happen eventually. And I really hope that the planet as it exists for me today is going to be here for everybody tomorrow and for all the generations to follow.
No, I think there is a smart way to do this, and we can have a healthy use of our population without negatively affecting our environment. There are a lot of alternatives to fossil fuels that we can use to help increase our air quality.
Although we may be miles from the nearest beach, we are never far from the ocean. Even small actions here in Poolesville, Maryland can lead to a big difference. Eating sustainable seafood is an easy way to help and enjoy a delicious meal. Try local seafood to reduce transportation emissions. Choose products without microplastics. The little exfoliating beads found in soaps aren't treated by most sanitation systems and are washed out to sea. There, marine organisms can mistake the small plastics for food. Ditch the disposable plastic water bottles in favor of BPA-free, reusable containers. It takes 3 times the amount of water inside the disposable water bottle to produce it and its contents. When plastic bottles end up in the ocean, wave action and UV degradation break the plastic down into the unwanted microplastics. Even the little things like turning off lights can make a difference. Climate change is a huge threat to delicate ocean ecosystems, so try to reduce your carbon footprint today. Together, we can help protect the wonders that are our oceans, one step at a time.
This is our world, this is our time to save our planet from what we left behind. This is our mission, know our duty to let our planet last.
So bored.
This is it!
What? What does it say?
Become a superhero in 3 easy steps.
Step 1, find a cause. Okay, what do you believe in?
I don't know.
Hey, recycle!
People these days. I think you just found your cause. Step 2, develop your powers. It's time for training. Okay, Task 1. Start there, jump over there, pick up that, and put it in the recycling bin. New supervillain, pollution, is terrorizing the world!
I have to go!
Wait! What's step number 3? Save the world.
Pollution!
Stop! Who are you? I'm the green pinky, and you're going down.
Isn't it supposed to be green thumb?
I changed it up a bit.
Well, I'm pollution, and you can't stop me.
Increasing, ice caps decreasing, rain and snow increasing, climate changing every season. Temperatures increasing, ice caps decreasing, rain and snow increasing, climate changing every season.
You think global warming's bogus? I'll tell you that's not true. Global warming's real and it's all around you. Here's an example. Increased levels in sea or drought. Climate affects weather, no doubt. When I step out my house in winter and I have no jacket on, but I'm wearing snow boots in spring, what's going on? Climate change has happened, it's a change in global climate pattern. Droughts in California and floods from New Orleans to Manhattan.
Because global warming melts that ice cap, so it melts to water, then heat evaporates that. And the more water in the atmosphere means that more rain and snow will appear.
Sorry, Boston.
Global warming's a climate change, it's real. Temperatures increasing every year. Ice caps are melting, rain and snow will increase, that's true, so please decrease the release of CO2. What can we do to prevent that? Stop burning fossil fuels, cause the more CO2 we use, the more will affect me and you. So please stop the release of CO2, but please don't stop breathing, just stop burning fossil fuels.
Because global warming melts that ice cap, so it melts to water, then heat evaporates that. And the more water in the atmosphere means that more rain and snow will appear.
Sorry, Boston.
Because global warming melts that ice cap, so it melts to water, then heat evaporates that. And the more water in the atmosphere means that more rain and snow will appear.
Sorry, Boston.